Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Longbox Chronicles month here on Reaction and Review. Tonight, guys, I'm taking a look at a movie that, well, I'm actually kind of dreading a little bit, but I will cover that in just a sec. Also, it's a movie that apparently a lot of you guys have wanted me to cover for quite a long time, and when you first saw the intro for Longbox Chronicles month, this apparently was the one book that kind of jumped out and everyone's saying, "Oh, dude, when?" And, well, the day is today. Tonight's movie is Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Yeah. Allow me to explain why I'm a little bit iffy on going into this one. See, a lot of people were telling me about the comics, and I have not read them. But every single time somebody would tell me the premise, or they would tell me one of their oh-so-funny bits, I would have no other option but to, look into it, and I would say it doesn't sound good. I would basically look at, I would look at the premise, I'd say this sounds like shit. It basically sounds like Mega Man if Mega Man wanted to fuck Wily really bad, and Wily said, "No, you have to beat the Robot Masters first." I mean, that literally is sort of how I was kind of interpreting it. But now I have no other option. I must go into this. I must watch it. But you see, a lot of people seem to think that I'm going to automatically hate it. But you see, I spent my own money on this fucking thing, so I almost feel like so it almost feels like I should be encouraged to try to find a positive, even though I try to find a positive in everything I cover, but it's just, God, this one here, it just almost feels like it's going to be a challenge. But hey, sometimes I enjoy a good challenge. So with that, I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to see if this movie's any good. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Wow. This band really sucks. And we're supposed to cheer for this? No. Do you guys hear this? God, this is fucking awful. So, the pinnacle of humor is asking, what is the URL for Amazon.ca? This is starting off very poorly, and I don't think it's going to improve. So, if this movie is any indicator, Canadian music seems to have to suck by fucking law. But that can't possibly be, because I actually do listen to a little bit of Canadian music. None of it is this bad. So why couldn't they get music for this movie that didn't flat out suck ass? I'm really curious about this now. Guys, I would just like to say right now that I'm going to assume that all of this is supposed to be in some twisted sort of way romantic, but I'm not feeling it. In fact, frankly, I just want to take, Scott, and I just want to take him outside and shoot him right in the head. But that's partially because of the person they, cast to play him, but I'll cover that when the fucking movie's done. Wow. I never thought I'd ever say this. I just saw knives get punched out, and god damn it, that actually was rather cool. Because I found her to be ridiculously annoying. I'm happy to see that somebody fucking punched her out. Hell yeah! I just want to mention that out of all of the fights that Scott has had to go through, this one was probably the stupidest one. Vegan police? Vegan psychic power? No, fuck that shit. That was stupid as hell. Guys, perhaps just maybe I'm talking out of fucking turn here, but I could have sworn that in these sorts of films where somebody has to take on tons and tons and tons of enemies, the fights are actually supposed to get more and more interesting with each passing fight. But no, we aren't fucking getting that here. The fights are actually getting worse as the movie goes on. This is getting really fucking pathetic. He's dead? Really? Thank you, God. He's dead. So does that mean that the movie's over? Does that mean I can stop watching now? Of course not. Still about 20 minutes left.
Why him?
Fuck. Well, guys, that was Scott Pilgrim versus the World. The movie's done. I have already shut it off. I'm not taking the disc out yet, just because I fear the things I would do to that goddamn disc right now if I were to pop it out. Okay. First of all, let me get the positives done first. The movie looks fantastic, alright? It really does. I actually was kind of digging the whole, like, video game feeling. I actually kind of wish it was in a movie where all of it wasn't as forced, but all of it looked great, which makes me kind of hope that somebody, sometime, is going to be able to make a video game-based movie and can use those sorts of visuals and actually use them for something that's a little bit more appropriate, let's say, something that might actually be fun to watch. Beyond that, though, and also beyond all the other obvious things, because, well, naturally, this thing is a big studio flick. This is from Universal, of all people. So naturally, it's going to have good sound. It's going to have good lighting. So really, I can't even talk about any of that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything else, god damn it. Oh, wait. And the acting was good. The acting was actually really good from everybody except for our lead, which is Michael Cera. Now, that is to be expected when your movie is stupid enough to cast the half fucking retarded clone of Jesse Eisenberg. You're bound to get shit, because Michael Cera can't act. The guy is not funny. I do not find the man to be entertaining, and I do not believe that he is in any way a good actor. So he really had a long way to go before I would be willing to give a shit, and he phoned in his goddamn performance, and I hated it. I mean, because everybody else at least looked as if they were trying. He wasn't. And frankly, it really kind of brought down everything. On top of all the other problems I am going to mention, the fact that he went into this and he seemingly just did not fucking care. That's saying a lot to me. Now, I should mention, again, I've never read the comics, and after watching this, I am in no way compelled to go out and find them. I have zero interest, because this story sucked, okay? I mean, it was probably one of the worst concepts I've heard for a story in a long time. I mean, hell, guys, I actually think that the paper-thin premises behind crap like August Underground's Mortem were a little bit better than this. Okay, but then again, that's actually because there was at least some effort. This right here was, okay, guys, now we are gonna have a love story, and it's gonna be just like Mega Man. Wait, it's gonna be like Mega Man. Ooh, we are gonna cram in every kind of video game reference we possibly can. We have to, because that is going to guarantee us the hipsters and also the weeaboos. We have a built-in market. Yeah, that's pretty much the only people who are going to like this, are hipsters, weeaboos, and anyone who is overly obsessed with video games. I mean, like, that's it. And that's playing to a ridiculously tiny market. I mean, I really cannot think of any other way to actually... I cannot think of any other sort of person who would be into this sort of thing. I mean, there is nothing here that is in any way interesting. There's nothing here that is in any way enjoyable. At least I didn't find anything interesting in it. The fact that they had all of these forced-in video game references, again, all of that would probably have worked if the story had warranted for it, but it didn't. It was just there for the sake of being there. It's just, my God. Oh, and the music. I mentioned it enough times. The music in this movie is just garbage. It sucks. Alright, and mind you, I actually have a rather broad taste in music. I actually can listen to punk, grunge, rock, metal, rap, country, classical, you fucking name it. I can happily listen to it. 9 times out of 10, but this stuff was shit. I hated every piece of music in here, with the few lone exceptions being just a couple of licensed songs which are playing in the background in a scene here, a scene there, and the bass battle against the third fucking evil ex-robot, like robot master thing. That was pretty much it. When it came to good music, was just basically a handful of licensed tunes which they threw into background bits, and one boss fight. That's it. Beyond that, everything else is just noise. It basically is the kind of music I flat out despise. Good fucking God. And going into the writing, besides actually having that god-awful premise, we don't have a single likable character here. Alright? I fucking went into it, and I wanted really hard to care about Scott, or to care about Knives, or to care about Ramona, or to care about anybody. But I couldn't. There was no reason for me to like any of them, because none of them showed any reason for me to care. Because all of them have all the depth of a piss puddle. There's no reason to go in there and actually care about any of these characters, and since there's no reason to care about any of the characters, there's no reason to care about the story, so there's no reason to actually bother watching it unless you're one of those people who really love style over substance, because this is it. This fucking thing, folks, is all style and zero substance. I never thought I'd see a film that was like that. Most films at least have a little something. They have a little something that you can look at and say, okay, this actually has a little bit of like substance to it. No. None. Not one bit of substance, all fucking style, and frankly, it was probably the worst $2 I've ever spent. Fuck this movie. I cannot find a positive besides the fucking style, and you cannot live off of style alone. So, just Jesus Christ. I really wanted to like this, guys. I really did. Especially since I had people telling me, oh God, man, this thing here is great, and this thing's awesome. I hated it. I really did. And it's just because I guess I care more about substance when it comes to my films. You would almost think a guy like me who has a very high tolerance for cheesy, corny shit would happen to look at something like this, which is just pure cheese, and that I would adore it. No. My God, this actually is just making me almost fucking depressed watching this thing. I'm happy that I'm done watching it. I'm happy I never have to look at it again. The only thing I'm not happy about is that I spent $2 on it, and if I were to try to sell it, I might at best get like $1 back. So basically, I'm gonna be out $1, no matter how the fuck I cut this. So yeah, just good God. I really have nothing else to say. There is nothing else with this movie. I hated every single character, and I thought that I thought that our lead actor, well, God damn it, I just fucking hate him in general, but this actually was probably like the worst performance he has ever turned in. And considering everything else he's been in, that's saying a lot. So, yeah. There's no way I could ever recommend this. And if you happen to like it, because I know that this movie and this franchise, for whatever reason, has a rather loud vocal fan base, cool. Enjoy it. Have fun. But guess what? This thing did not make a fan out of me, and frankly, I'm going to just avoid the Scott Pilgrim books from here on out, because if they're anything like what I just saw, I can tell you right now, I'm gonna fucking hate them. So yeah, I really don't need to even bother looking at them if they're anything like this. So yeah. Well, folks, there's only one episode left this month, and well, we're going back to DC Comics for the final episode, and well, I've heard horrible things about this movie, but you know what? Oftentimes it seems whenever I hear horrible things, I wind up liking it. But then again, I'm also looking at this and I kind of have my doubts. But we will cover that in the next episode. So guys, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.